SeaWorld presents Wild Arctic, an extreme adventure.
Hello and welcome to SeaWorld's Wild Arctic, an extreme adventure. I'm Jack Hanna. The SeaWorld and Busch Gardens theme parks are known for providing world-class family entertainment from coast to coast. Year after year, Busch Gardens and SeaWorld develop cutting-edge animal displays that immerse both animals and guests in realistic environments. During this program, we'll explore SeaWorld of California's newest jewel, Wild Arctic. This new attraction takes you on an exciting simulated jet helicopter ride, brings you face-to-face with polar bears, beluga whales, walruses, and seals, and recreates the ambiance of the incredible Arctic region these animals call home. It is a land so remote, parts of it have never been seen by man. Breathtakingly beautiful, unbearably cold, stark, windy, and inhospitable. There is a demand for words such as these when describing the Arctic, yet words alone cannot summon images of the incredible sights unleashed in this magnificent frozen land. The Arctic sits like an icy crown at the top of the world. The Arctic Circle, an imaginary ring around the northernmost part of the globe, embraces the harsh Arctic territory. The Arctic is neither a single country nor continent. 7 countries share this frigid land. Most of the Arctic is a great frozen ocean. Between the ice cap and tree line of Arctic region lies the tundra. Meaning treeless land, the tundra is frozen solid 8 months a year. As temperatures rise and snow melts, huge marshes are formed. A barren land comes to life. Insects hatch. Mosses, grasses, and shrubs spring up, and hardy flowers cling low to the ground to survive harsh winds. Average summer temperature on the tundra is a balmy in Arctic terms 50 degrees Fahrenheit. While summer in the Arctic can be a daunting place, in winter human survival among non-natives is nearly impossible. Temperatures plunge to minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit. SeaWorld's Wild Arctic portrays an icy landscape inhabited by polar bears, beluga whales, walruses, harbor seals, and a team of well-outfitted researchers. But centuries ago, this forbidding land lured many men to their graves as they searched for a way through ice-choked seas to the riches of Asia. It is the 1845 voyage of Sir John Franklin aboard the well-equipped ships the Erebus and the Terror that is immortalized in the SeaWorld attraction. Last seen in Baffin Bay on July 25, 1845, Franklin's men met grisly deaths one by one in a remote frozen corner at the top of the world. These brave explorers, while unsuccessful, set in motion decades of discovery that would eventually lead to the elusive Northwest Passage. Explorers eventually found the Northwest Passage, and when they did, they were amazed by the animals that seemed to thrive there. Arctic ice breaks up each spring, and the area is transformed from a land of seemingly empty whiteness to a place exploding with color and life. The animals of the Arctic summer, those who stayed and survived winter, and those that migrate to this land, lumber, gallop, swim, and fly in a region that has been stripped of its savage wintry repose. Food is abundant. By summer, the Arctic is teeming with life. Numerous animals summer in the Arctic. Ocean waters are shared by the incredible narwhal, whose long tusk is actually a tooth, ringed and harp seals, northern fur seals, and hundreds of other species. On land, a who's who of Arctic animals assembles on the tundra and edges of the polar desert. Caribou, musk ox, gray wolves, Arctic lynx, snowshoe hare, Arctic fox, and many others can be seen mating, bearing young, and reaping the harvest of this plentiful land. Since the sun never sets during the Arctic summer, wildlife can feed all night long, and there is a need to grow big and strong as quickly as possible, because in this rugged region, summer is tantalizingly short. The land will soon freeze, making food scarce and survival nearly impossible. SeaWorld's Wild Arctic attraction highlights 4 species that live and thrive in the Arctic. They are animals that without the benefit of zoological parks could never be studied to the fullest. The great polar bear is an animal immortalized in many Inuit legends. The only animal that can live on the Arctic pack ice, the polar bear has no fear and no predators. Walruses share the Arctic ice with polar bears. While occasionally a meal for the bear, walruses may lumber about on land, but spend nearly 2/3 of their lives in the water, where they are quick and agile. Bottom feeders, they feed on clams, crustaceans, and worms. They can hold their breath for 25 minutes and powerfully squirt water to loosen food lodged on the ocean floor. Their unique vibrissae, or whiskers, help locate food. Each vibrissae, with its own nerves and blood supply, acts as an extremely sensitive feeler. Beluga whales inhabit the shallow coastal waters of the icy Arctic Ocean. Like other Arctic dwellers, they are well adapted to their environment. Beluga whales have no dorsal fin. Their low dorsal ridge allows them to easily swim beneath huge ice sheets. They are among the few whales that have unfused neck vertebra. They can turn their head from side to side, a trait that gives them an inquisitive look and a wide range of motion. Beluga whales, while born gray, turn white by adulthood. This clever camouflage helps them blend into the icebergs and ice floes that often surround them. They are a social species, and long ago acquired the nickname sea canaries because of the bird-like chirping sounds they make. While many species of seals live in Arctic areas, SeaWorld's Wild Arctic features harbor seals and a ring seal. Spotted and sausage-shaped, these animals split their time between the icy land and chilly seas. Often prey to the mighty polar bear, they are swift in the water and haul ashore to rest and bear their young. The Arctic is an amazing land filled with plant and animal life uniquely adapted to survive there. Able to withstand intense cold, fierce winds, 24 hours of daylight, and 24 hours of darkness. These species are treasures to the world. When we come back, we'll take you on an incredible polar bear research expedition.
At SeaWorld, our mission is to entertain, amaze, and educate, creating memories that last a lifetime. Every day we renew our pledge to you and to them. Come see a wonderful part of your world at SeaWorld.
The Arctic is a hostile place, but modern-day adventurers are eager to brave its challenges in order to learn about the amazing animals that live there. SeaWorld recently traveled to the Arctic to shadow a biologist studying polar bears. They are the largest land carnivore on Earth. They can weigh well over 1,000 pounds and are supremely adapted to life in a land of ice, snow, and frigid temperatures. Everything about the polar bear's appearance represents power, strength, and adaptability. A thin layer of oil coats the polar bear's fur and acts as insulation. Their hair is hollow to trap warm air and clear so sunlight can pass through to their black skin. An extra membrane on their eyes resists the ultraviolet light from the snow's glare. There is fur on a polar bear's feet to protect it against the cold, and tiny bumps on the pads of their feet to help grip the ice. SeaWorld scientist Dr. Dan Odell recently traveled to the Arctic to accompany a team of Canadian biologists studying polar bear reproduction and collecting data on the impact environmental changes like pollution may have on the bears. While getting to this remote land can be difficult, today's explorers travel by helicopter. Field studies on polar bears are carried out with extreme caution. Scientists search for signs of bear dens or pits from the safety of the Arctic skies. When bears are sighted, they are carefully darted with a tranquilizer. Once enveloped in slumber, the team can approach the animals and carry out their studies. Blood, skin, and hair samples are collected. Teeth are inspected. The fur and paws are carefully examined. Head and body measurements are taken, and all the data is carefully logged in field notebooks. This team of biologists is particularly interested in the long-term breeding habits of polar bears. Since animals are radio-collared, scientists can track a bear year after year and create a thorough picture of her breeding cycle. Data collected from research expeditions such as this are adding greatly to the limited body of knowledge we have about this incredible animal. While they are fierce and fearless, they are key players in the animal kingdom. SeaWorld's Dr. Odell sums up the bear's position in their environment.
Polar bears are important because they help to maintain the balance of nature in the Arctic ecosystem. They're also one of nature's super predators.
Scientists are just beginning to understand the Arctic and man's impact on the animals that live there. The area can be deceiving. What looks vast, empty, and white actually is a complex environment of textures, temperatures, scents, and colors. SeaWorld's team of wild Arctic experts took more than a year to carefully recreate this intricate world. It was SeaWorld's zoological expertise combined with the park's entertainment skills that produced the remarkably realistic wild Arctic attraction. A team of creative companies and individuals blended technology and craftsmanship to develop an environment that was believable to animals, guests, and staff. Teams of experts set off on numerous research and production trips to the Arctic. Scale models of the attraction were developed, and construction began. Dozens of workmen constructed the exterior of the building, while others worked on the polar environment being created inside. Every detail was painstakingly monitored so the attraction would suspend reality for park visitors, convincing them they had been transported to the Arctic. Snow, ice, rock, and wood were created from concrete and other materials. Embellishments like starfish and hand-carved lettering were created to add to the authenticity. And to enhance the guest sensation that they had actually traveled to the frozen north, a special film was developed. The challenge of this wild Arctic movie was to take people where they've never been before, to the top of the world. This simulator film is perhaps the only one of its kind because it embarks on not a round trip, but a one-way journey. SeaWorld wanted to take guests to a specific destination, Base Station Wild Arctic, and take them there for a purpose, to discover the area's incredible wildlife. After the film was prepared, it was carefully synchronized to a complex series of flight simulator motions. 4 wild Arctic cabins, each a simulated jet helicopter, are capable of pitch, roll, and vertical movements. In selected directions, the cabins are designed to move as much as 9 feet. A 5th cabin provides a special stabilized craft for park guests who prefer a calmer route to the Arctic. Huge screens accommodate the high-definition video laser disc projection system. After months of work, the stage was set. Hundreds of talented individuals had added their interpretation of the Arctic world to make this one of the most realistic, all-encompassing, thrill-ride animal attractions on Earth. Once the guest area was completed, it was time to focus on the animals. In a moment, we'll visit some of the residents of Wild Arctic and see just what makes their SeaWorld home so unique. Polar bears are strong swimmers, paddling dog style with their front paws while holding their hind feet and legs flat like rudders. Scientists have tracked polar bears swimming continuously for more than 62 miles.
Celebrate the new life at SeaWorld.
Preparing Wild Arctic for human guests was quite an undertaking. You'll be amazed to see what went into making the animals' home so special. This is Craig Charbonneau, who's in charge of these beautiful creatures. Wow, where are they from?
They come from the Arctic, Jack, around the North Pole region, up in the northern parts of Canada and around Alaska and such.
Can I touch you?
You sure can. Don't they feel great?
It feels like a bowl full of jelly.
That's their melon. That's what they use to echolocate, to actually see things with echolocation under the water.
Golly, what happens if they get stuck under the ice?
Well, you'll notice that they don't have a dorsal fin. They have what's called a dorsal ridge. And if the ice is thin enough, they can actually break through that ice to create a breathing hole.
Good night. Look at this. But they're cold, too.
Yeah, the water's very cold. It's about 58 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh,
They come from a cold environment, that's for sure.
Well, you're lucky to work with these every day.
Oh, we love it. Absolutely love it.
You know, I visited zoos and aquariums all over the world, and Wild Arctic is the finest marine life attraction I've ever seen. In fact, Wild Arctic was awarded the American Zoological Parks and Aquarium Association's highest honor for Best Animal Attraction. Many of Wild Arctic's special details are not visible to park guests. They are enhancements designed to please the attraction's residents. The Arctic is a complex environment, so SeaWorld's Wild Arctic recreates many of the challenging elements.
Here at the Wild Arctic in San Diego, we've tried to create the most stimulating, challenging, enriched environment we could for our animals. We want to meet their every need. Over here on our left, we have a bear den. And what we've done is we've put in this one-way mirror so the public can get very close to the animals without disturbing them. They can see them, but the bears cannot see the public. Next, we have shaved ice. The bears love this snow. They dig in it, they play in it, they lay in it. We actually hide items in here so they can find them. The snow is a real enriching item for them. Not only do the bears enjoy digging in the snow, but they also dig in the rocks here. This gives them a different texture, a different feel. Boy, they love to rub in this stuff and they almost turn brown. Another interesting or enriching aspect of this exhibit are these rocking ice floes. And what it is, it's a challenge for the animals to go from ice floe to ice floe. It makes things just a little bit different and unusual and provides them with some extra stimulation. The bears will be able to walk across this mast bridge, and right under our bridge here we have a huge pool which will have live fish that the bears can chase and climb on this slightly submerged rock. Behind me, well, we have a little stream. Here at the stream, this makes for an interesting environment for our animals. They can play in the shallow water, splash around. We also have fish we can place in the water, live fish that swim down the stream, and the animals can play with them, grab them up, and actually eat them.
The success of SeaWorld's animal health programs, research, breeding, education, and conservation work are the park's legacy. Wild Arctic is not a place constructed for people to live, but a special locale that wraps around the animals, providing them with endless sights, sounds, scents, and tastes, much like the wild wood. These enhancements, created to elicit natural animal behaviors and breeding conduct, will greatly assist in the park's renowned research, conservation, and education efforts. As you can see, every effort has been taken to make sure SeaWorld's wild Arctic animals are well cared for. After the animal habitats were complete, the Wild Arctic team was ready for the really exciting stuff to begin. The animals were moving in. It was a week SeaWorld had been waiting for more than a year. Over the course of several days, the polar bears, beluga whales, walruses, and seals that would live in Wild Arctic were introduced to their new environments. While SeaWorld's animal specialists had transported hundreds of animals, supervised dozens of moves, and opened numerous new attractions during the park's 33-year history, tensions ran high as staff planned for every contingency. Every step in the acclimation process was critical. No matter what the species, the priorities were the same: a safe and comfortable introduction into the new habitat.
The transport went extremely well, very smoothly. Everybody's real excited, but everybody's very calm in working with the animals and moving them into their new habitat.
The beluga whales swam into Wild Arctic and seemed to quickly take stock of their new home. Because they are used to a close human presence, Wild Arctic specialists were able to observe the whales from nearby. The walruses lumbered into their new home with an air of indifference. Taking a dip in their pool, they peered curiously out through the observation windows. Big, powerful, and intelligent, the polar bears slowly stepped into their Wild Arctic habitat. They took their time to investigate, sniffing and poking around. These first few days would turn out to be a time of discovery, as all of Wild Arctic's inhabitants began to detect the enriching elements hidden within their environments. Next, we'll discover how you can embark on the adventure yourself.
Storm. Heading right through your flight path and it's picking up.
Walruses are insulated by a thick layer of blubber, up to 6 inches thick. The blubber may account for 1/3 of a walrus's total body mass.
Got a question about anything on today's show? Want to know more about the animals at SeaWorld and Busch Gardens? Then pick up the phone and call 1-800-23-SHAMU to get the answer. Call any day of the week between noon and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. TDD users can call 1-800-TD-SHAMU. The call is free, the information is free, so call the SHAMU TV answer line and get your question answered today.
Seeing the animals make their home here, that's a rewarding experience for everyone. Wildlife and travel, cold and wind, adventure and research. SeaWorld has captured the essence of the Arctic. Now it's your turn to enjoy the thrill of a wild Arctic extreme ride adventure. One corner of SeaWorld has so convincingly been transformed into an Arctic research center, visitors will know they are embarking on an exciting journey from the moment Wild Arctic comes into sight. Guests are trained at the Franklin Exploration Center, then dispatched to the Arctic on a motion-based ride or a more stabilized form of transport. Either way, the destination is the same for both sets of intrepid explorers. Once you've boarded, a storm warning is broadcast. There is no turning back. The time to leave is now. The journey to the Arctic was an arduous one, 150 years ago, and remains full of peril, even with today's technology. After a thrilling flight aboard a jet helicopter traveling 400 miles per hour, SeaWorld's guests step out into the crisp, cold world of the Arctic. Base Station Wild Arctic staff provide an enthusiastic welcome. Their lived-in research hut is testimony to the work being done. There's an incredible vista of the Arctic. An ice wall provides a chilly passageway. A serpentine route takes visitors on an incredible trek through the Arctic Research Center. Guests can practically rub noses with polar bears above and below water. Feel the mist as beluga whales exhale. See the brilliant tusk of the walrus and watch seals swim and dive. All this entwined around the hulls of the sunken 19th century ships, the Erebus and Terror. It is as immersed in this environment as you can get. And most amazingly, these Base Station Wild Arctic visitors, while lost in the sights, sounds, and sensations of the Arctic, have never left warm and sunny San Diego. Besides the animal encounters, guests have the opportunity to visit numerous interactive stations. Hands-on systems let visitors outfit future expeditions and operate remote research cameras. The Arctic holds many treasures for those with the fortitude to brave its challenges. Visitors to Wild Arctic absorb the ambiance of the region, meet the animals that call it their home, and learn about this delicate environment, all without leaving SeaWorld. It is an unparalleled marine zoological attraction that shares knowledge, gathers information from those who live there, and provides an extreme adventure for those who visit. During this program, we've glimpsed a slice of life in the Arctic. We've recalled brave explorers who traveled the territory 100 years ago. We watched in awe as researchers approached the mighty polar bear. We opened a window on the icy world of cold, darkness, and light that defines the Arctic. And we visited SeaWorld, where these elements are blended to create one of the greatest animal attractions ever. Wild Arctic stands as a monument to Arctic exploration and research. It's a thrill to experience life at the top of the world. So visit SeaWorld's Wild Arctic in San Diego, and hold on to your earmuffs, because this is an extreme adventure that will take your breath away.
Hi, I'm Julie Scardina, SeaWorld's Animal Ambassador. You've just learned about SeaWorld of California's newest attraction, Wild Arctic. The message we want to convey through Wild Arctic, the ride, the animals, and all the educational exhibits, is that the entire world is interconnected. We believe that by understanding the animals and their environment, people begin to care about them. And through that caring will come conservation. By focusing on the Arctic, we hope to demonstrate how important it is for all of us to become good stewards of planet Earth. Did you know chemicals released from homes in the U.S. can become the Arctic's future pollution? With a little effort, we can reduce man's negative impact on our planet and help to ensure that our children will inherit a world to enjoy. These steps include using biodegradable household cleaning products, buying rechargeable batteries, carpooling, and patronizing repair shops which recycle used oil and refrigerants. And of course, recycling paper, glass, plastics, and metals. These efforts, small as they may seem, will help maintain a safer, healthier planet for today and future generations.